Hello, this is the Roland AX-Synth. This is a Keytar which was released about 2009, late 2009. Roland made an AX1 in 1992 and then a red version of that in 1994. There was also the AX1B, which was a black version. Now then, the AX7 came along after that, and that had MIDI level 2 and the ability to store 128 patches, but that was discontinued in 2007. Now, the AX-Synth has 49 keys. The AX1 and the AX7 had 45 keys. But more importantly, this has got a synthesizer built in. It still transmits MIDI, but it has 246 sounds inside and 128 voice polyphony. It runs on 8 AA batteries for about 6 to 8 hours, depending on what batteries you use. But I think it would have been better if it had a transmitter built in on board so that you could run around the stage with it. However, you can plug in a guitar transmitter, or you can even go one step further and plug in a MIDI transmitter so you can use other sounds from different synthesizers and things. And with the V-Link, set off lighting or whatever the V-Link was for, I don't know. Many of the sounds are synthesized in here, but there's a few of them that are sort of samples of real sounds like brass and jazz scat. Anyway, you can edit the sounds within this with a free Roland AX-Synth editor. But I think it would have been better to include maybe a few rotary controllers or encoders or something so that you can change a few bits and pieces on the fly without having to go to a PC every time you want to change something. Jean-Michel Jarre used a prototype of one of these during his 2009 indoors concert, but it was originally a white model and he painted it black himself to sort of reduce laser reflections and things. Later on his tour, Roland sent him an official black version, and then the official black version, or black sparkle, as you might be able to see, turned up in all the shops. Now, people like Lady Gaga uses the AX-Synth, and so does Tim Blake of Hawkwind, the Black Eyed Peas, Imogen Heap, the Human League, and if you have a look online, there's a guy called Brett Domino who has a brilliant video on YouTube that is very, very entertaining. I'll put that little link down there somewhere below. However, I'm going to open mine up so we can have a look inside it. So, screwdriver time. Okay, now we've got to try and get inside this little thing. Well, little thing, actually it's big compared to the AX1 and the AX7, but then obviously there's a synth in here, and I'm really eager to see what this synth looks like. It's very nice black plastic. Right, 8 AA batteries. Take all these out first. Now, I'm not sure if when you take these out it loses its memory and reverts back to factory settings. I don't think it would. That wouldn't be a very good idea at all. I'll take off the guitar strap. The Keytar strap. It's a Keytar, this is. Korg has just released a Keytar, and another company, I can't remember what the other company is, but it's got a sort of XY motion type thing built in. So when you give it a bit of on stage, that sort of puts a pitch bend in, or whatever you want to control. This has got all the pitch bend and filters and, you know, ribbon here and the good old D-beam. There was strangely a time, past few years, when Roland put a D-beam on everything they released, or it seemed they did anyway. Every single keyboard and everything had to have their D-beam on. But anyway, stop nattering. I'm going to try and get this apart. Lots and lots of screws. So I'll get started, and I won't bore you. I'll fast forward this video. It takes 19 screws, and then you have to take off the volume and the aftertouch button. And then you can pull off the top layer. Well, we've obviously got some cables in the way here. Okay, there's a ribbon connector there, and then A ribbon connector here. There we go. Ooh. So there's the top, and here's the synth keyboard. Right, looking down on the main boards here, this is obviously the main synthesizer or the processor. There's some ESMT chips here, 3 of them. They're Elite Semiconductor Memory Technology. This is high data rate dynamic RAM stuff. This, I don't know what that is. It says Roland SSC. Maybe that's the Super Sound Canvas. It's a BGA chip with God knows what on there. Not sure what that one is either. I'm not doing very good here, am I? But on the board, I've noticed there's a lot of empty spaces. You know, there could have been another ribbon connector here, which isn't there. More chips here and here. Another connector over there. There's lots of empty spaces for more connectors all over the place. So maybe this is used in another product. Not sure. Okay. Moving on to the next board. There's your power input, power switch. These are for foot pedal. There's a USB 5-pin DINs for your MIDI control. There's your little optocoupler there. There's a couple of 1CZ41H. They're chopper regulators. Plenty of surface mount capacitors and inductors, and everything's just so small now. And a few more big chips here. And then moving on, this is your battery input and this is your audio out there. Now under here is just basically buttons and LEDs. So there you go, there's 3 boards altogether. Row of switches here, row of switches there, LEDs underneath. And then this little piece in the middle is 3 7-segment LED displays. I'm sure somebody at some time will change the colours of these or do some sort of modification to them. It would be easy enough to do that. That's about it. There's not a heck of a lot to see there. I do like this nice silver coated connector here. This is the same stuff as they use in the TB8 and the new Era range. So they've been using these things for a few years now. Just looks nice, doesn't it? Well, I think so anyway. And then the last piece is the handle, or your left hand. And on here you've got your modulation bar, and then there's a ribbon controller here for pitch bends and whatever you want to set it up as. You can set this up to do many different features. And then again, switches with the LEDs underneath, and that wonderful D-beam device. But yeah, that's it. That's everything. Not a heck of a lot to look at, but it's a nice bit of kit. It's good fun. So I'm going to pop it back together now and see if it works. Right, it's all back together again now, and it's all lit up and working, thankfully, because this one's my own. I don't want to break this. Not that I break everybody else's stuff. Well, not often anyway. Anyway, some of the supernatural sounds in this are pretty good. Violin, for instance. Cellos. Trumpets. Saxophone's beautiful. Why do they have to keep putting jazz scat on everything? Anyway, most of the people on the internet who are doing some really good demos of this are all using it just for the electric guitars that are built in, which I think are pretty good. You haven't heard me on a real guitar. Honestly, I'm better on this than a real guitar. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll find something else to tear down soon. All the best.